Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's been a minute since I've done a video. Well, maybe a week or so over the holidays. Took some time hanging out with family and friends, so I figured I would do one more quick little review on an older saber of mine, but one of my ones that I loved when I first did it is my Rahm Kota with an Ito wrap. So this was probably my third saber I ever purchased. Yes, I believe it's the third one. Aside from like Black Series and stuff like that, like this was one that I was like going in on, and I was so excited about it. But it was completely different because this is an MHS, completely different as in looks. I did all this, but it was an MHS saber that I saw because about maybe 3 years ago or so when I was first getting into the hobby, I've been in the hobby for about 4 years, almost 5 maybe. Wow, probably just 4. I lurked for a long time before I ever got my hands dirty. I spent like a year or so just learning and researching and just admiring and being like, that's such a cool hobby, and I'll never spend that money. And now a couple years later I'm like, yeah, whatever, let's just pile it on to the next one. So public service announcement for all of you: be careful where this hobby can take you down a rabbit hole. But anyways, it was an MHS, and it just had a body and a different emitter, which I ended up getting rid of because I wanted a Rahm Kota. This is General Rahm Kota's saber this is my personal rendition of it, I guess. But I was a sucker of it, and it's pretty. He's got a couple different designs. I mean, there's some you'll see this Elo wrap with black. You'll see just the normal. I have another video of I have a Saber Forge Rahm Kota where the leather wrap is just all the way wrapped up. But I wanted that samurai sword looking Ito wrap, right? And so I didn't see them available very often. I used to see people do them all the time, and I was like, so cool. And I wanted one. And back then, I was very much like, okay, which company will make it? I need a company to make it for me because I obviously didn't really know what I was doing. But then after doing some research and looking around and looking into MHS parts, I was like, I think I could make one. I could definitely make one because all you need is the body, the pommel, and so on and so forth. And so I found one with a Nano Biscotti version 3 soundboard in it, recharge port, green, white. And I was like, all I gotta do is customize it, and I'm good to go, because back then I didn't know how to install or do anything. So I bought the parts that I needed to complete the hilt. And I had another color Ito wrap before. This is maybe my second attempt, and honestly I need to do a third because it's not the prettiest Ito wrap. It's really not. It's passable. But because I have that recharge port down there, I never got rid of, because the AV switch is hooked up to light on as soon as you pull the kill key. And back then I didn't know how to do it. So I was like, well, I can't get rid of the recharge port and cover it, because then that light will always go on and it'll drain the battery faster and all that stuff. So I was just like, I'll work around it. And I could revisit it someday and relocate the recharge port, but then I'd have the hole there and I'd just get a new body. So it's just never really been a priority of mine. So what I did was, this is the 7-inch body from which I already had. It came with it. The only thing I did was get the pommel. The pommel's different, and of course I weathered it. And I should use aluminum black on these pieces, but I've always kind of left this as is when I was done. And I did the ring, weathered the ring, got a little bit of black on the ring and on the insides to offset it, because originally this comes as a shiny piece. Left the recharge port. The activation switch is right under there, so it's really easy to push. And then I got this, you can't really see it, but this little connector piece right here, I wanted it to be raised up, and I drilled this in, and honestly I'm surprised it went in, because I didn't have a driller tap and I just kind of forced it, which is crazy to me, because like, this is not a pretty thing. It looks good and it's passable and it works really well. And my other Kota has a flat, like a small, low profile, bigger thumb screw, and that looks good. But I've always liked this because it's just different. These two sabers are very different. My two Kotas that I kept over the years, I kept this one just because, I dig it. I've always loved it, and I wanted to get it. It's very heavily. I don't know if I said this a minute ago. It's very heavily inspired by Force Relics. They have one, and there are like two little tactile switches right there. But that's about it. Got that right there, and then this is the can't remember which numbered piece this is on the custom saber shop, but this is all 100% custom saber shop pieces. I got that. This is the emitter. This is like a little switch add-on extension piece, body pommel. Pull kill key.
Master Kota is dead.
So all I did was I upgraded it when the Nano Biscotti version 4 came out. I upgraded to the version 4 because I was, again, this goes back to upgrading all the way to almost all my sabers to the V4. So just got one of these systems, chassis disc, easy to recharge, easy to get the recharge port, battery, speaker, simple. Now I have not upgraded. Normally all of my sabers I upgrade to NeoPixel as well, or have been working towards upgrading them all to NeoPixel. Oh, and a cover tech. Normally he doesn't have a cover tech, but I thought it was kind of cool to have it on there. Feels good. But I left this as a Tricree. There's only a few sabers in my collection I've left to stay as Tricree, and it's just because if somebody wants to duel, I want to have a few Tricrees. NeoPixel blades will hold up to dueling, but I mean, I don't really push it, especially if I have Tricree sabers. Like, that's a lot of questions. A lot of times people will ask like what's the deal with dueling with NeoPixel? Like, why? Like, I don't like NeoPixel because you can't duel with it as well, and it's just like, why don't you have both? Why don't you have a, I mean, I guess money, really, I understand that. But why don't you have a saber specific to beating the absolute crap out of? Like, if I want to fight somebody, like out in the yard or whatever, swinging around or whatnot, I mean, this is what I would use. I mean, why not? The soundboard's, it's kind of dated by now, which is kind of sad because the version 4, the Nano Biscotti version 4, I still think is a great board. It's a solid board, like a basic board, but it's in my opinion, it's great. It's still good. The swing sensitivity is still good. But why wouldn't you have this instead? Why would you want a NeoPixel and just beat the crap out of NeoPixel? I mean, like, they can definitely take a beating, but to me, a NeoPixel is kind of a little bit more show, and I don't want a bunch of scuff marks all over it. Let's go ahead and cut it up for you. That's green, green, white. And this is a Tricree XPE2. Whoop. It's easier to get those clashes with the blade in. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and put the blade in there. But I love that blade plug. I have a couple of them. I may be making different ones, but yeah. Let's go ahead and get to it. Sorry guys, I know I take a minute to get to the blade. Well, whatever. This is a review. It's got a V4 Infinity Edge blade. Again, this is one of my dueling blades, so, and I don't duel. I'm just not one to be like spending hours dueling. I mean, more power to you if you do it, but I just don't do it. I like to build and display. There you go. I love the way it feels too. So comfortable. See, I mean, it's just got so much. It's a long blade too. So much potential still on the V4. So that has Nano Biscotti has 3 sound fonts. Or 3 banks, sound banks. You put 3 different sound fonts on it. I don't know. I actually don't remember which ones I have on there. This is terrible. I'm not prepared for this at all. I was working on something and I was looking over at this coda and I was like, you know what? I haven't done a video in a minute and I love this coda. Let's do one. Barragor Ingot by Blanco. I'm just a fan of that sound font. The swings go really well. Flashes. Still very bright. Illuminated all the way. That's it. Although, some of these tips, like just because of the way the light is, so some corners you can find that it's just not lit all the way, but that's just because it's just one light in hilt shining, and it's just, this whole blade's diffusing the whole light everywhere. But still, it's pretty bright. Oh yeah, and this is like a suede cord that I cut up, or not cord, like a little suede sheet. I think I got it like Michaels or Jones Fabrics or something like that. And I weathered it up. Let's darkened it with like some coconut oil and stuff like that. I like to put coconut oil on stuff because it like hydrates it and darkens it. But set ignition one more time. And I probably need to charge this. Now that I think about it. I think this is Youngling, maybe? No, this is Shoto. This is Shoto. But yeah, and then back to
Master Kota is dead.
Back to, I think this is the lights. Or the balance. I think that is definitely by K-Sith. K-Sith son of fun. So yeah. Fairly basic saber. I mean, this is, you know, this is one of my duelers, really. But I was pretty happy about it. And again, this is a much older saber. I'm always thought about revisiting it and redoing it. But I've always just liked the way it is as is. Like, it does it for me enough. Try not to blind you. But it is hard to show that off without blinding you. But yeah, the Ito wrap is fairly tedious. It's kind of hard to do. So that's why I'd like to revisit it. But at the same time, my diamonds aren't too bad. But over time, they have kind of twisted. So I've tried to realign them. And I have put in a little bit of glue on like each little corner to keep it from sliding again. So this thing is not going anywhere now. I wish I'd have done that in the beginning. It's just lesson learned. I didn't really know how to Ito wrap. Like I said, this is about the second time I've done one. Before, it had a darker like red Ito wrap on it. Ito wrap, which is a Japanese style of wrapping, and usually they have like something inlaid down in there. What is it? I can't remember what it's called. There's so much to samurai swords that I don't know that much about. It's super interesting, and I love learning about it, but I don't know the techniques. I just learned how to do it because there's ways people have done it, and I think Rahm Kota's actual saber is just an X overlay with like a thicker leather, and so it gets that diamond that you want across it, but it's not a wrap and twist. See how these are twisted? They're twist folded, and that is difficult to do on a circular handle, because when you're doing it on an actual samurai sword, you have a flat surface, so you can get your wrap ready and go over it and kind of work down it, and you can easily flip. But on a circular hilt like this, you really have to be aware of where your lines are at. So for me, my advice, I guess, would be to line everything up, like the red button if you use it, or for me, the cover tech was a good point for me to gauge on where to go. But it's just trial and error, and I'd like to do it again. I'd like to give it another go because, again, like I said, it's gotten messed up over the years, and it's not as pretty as it was, but it still looks really good, and I like it. Very easy soundboard. If I do another Kota, I'll probably obviously do a CFX, and I want to go a little bit more with like a crystal reveal. The thing is, also design, why I've never really, because for me, I think a Kota, especially like this kind of Kota, is just perfect for an inner core. I mean, it's just ridiculously perfect. But you have to move your switch solutions to up here, because like this part will unscrew, this body will unscrew and slide off, right? And if you've seen some of my videos with crystal reveal sabers, that's how I like to do them. I like a fixed chassis in there, and you remove the body, right? So fixed chassis, and then this whole body is just a cover, and this would be perfect for it. Now with this saber, obviously the recharge port and the switch, which is right now, you can see it from so many years of pressing it, it's worn down, and there's your recharge port. That will keep you from being able to slide it out. So this has always stayed as a sled design, but I think the Kota is just a cool saber. I've always loved it. I love the character. General Rahm Kota, sorry, it's 18 minutes into the video. General Rahm Kota is from the Force Unleashed video game. General Rahm Kota, he's a Jedi from the Republic during the time of the fall of the Jedi. You know, Order 66 happened. He didn't use clone troopers because he didn't trust them, and like he had his own militia. So when Order 66 happened, he survived and he went to hiding. And then this character, he eventually your main character that you play in the game, Starkiller, comes across him as a Sith assassin, and then eventually is like, like, Vader won't always be your master, I sense me, or whatever he says in the game. And so he's a prominent character in the game. I've always thought it was cool because he ends up being blind, and I'm just a sucker for that samurai, like, blind Jedi, like, still beating the crap out of everyone but no eyes. It's just such a Force, like a Star Wars Force thing. Like, he's blind, like, get him, and he just like and he just tears up the room, and you're like, that is cool. So yeah, always been a sucker for Rahm Kota. This is another example, because another reason why I wanted to do a review and a video on this one is because this is another MHS. A lot of people want to build their own sabers. Like, I know a couple in the community who are super into customizing. Well, honestly, super into customizing. But they want to do it themselves, and they want to have some bit of part of it. And they know about all these other ones, like the Saber Forge ASP parts and so on. But I honestly think, personal opinion, from the couple years that I've done it, I mean, they're all fantastic. But I've always been a fan of the custom saber shop because it like their modular hilt parts, because I mean, you can just, it's a great base for so many things. I mean, my Corin horn that I'm going to be working on soon, that TJ did for me as a gift he loved, that I was stoked about it, and he was like, I made you one, and I was so happy about it. So I'll be having that soon. But I mean, this is MHS, you know what I mean? Like, this saber is going to be great when it's done. It's already gorgeous, but it's MHS. And my other MHS is like kind of far away. Oh no, here we go. This is another example of MHS. These are all parts that I put together, man. Like, this and these two sabers right here are both from the custom saber shop and just me going to town. Me figuring out, hey, I want this piece, this piece, and this piece. So there's plenty to do in this thing. And this is just where I went. So, you can get a Rahm Kota almost anywhere nowadays. I don't know why. Back in the day, it was hard to find. But you can definitely do just amazing things with modular hilt system from the custom saber shop. But yeah, anyways, enough babbling. Enough of me super jabbing away. Here's Rahm Kota Edo Wrap MHS Saber. Appreciate you guys. I hope everyone had a good holiday. I'm trying to get caught up after the holidays of Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that stuff. I've had a great time, but I need to get back to work. I need to get back to finishing projects. I've got a couple things in the works. I definitely have my corn horn from TJ that I'm going to probably be finishing next. I was able to score in like trades and stuff like that. A crystal focus board, so I was like, oh, I'm scrapping some stuff to make that thing come alive. So I have that, a couple other things coming, but I wanted to do a video real quick. Again, I know my videos are long, but I just want to do another video because it's been a minute. And I miss you guys, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on now. You don't want to hear me talk? I'll talk for you. Just kidding. Alright, you guys. I will see you in the next video.